I was having a conversation with someone who is considering becoming a numerologist today. And it was such a fascinating conversation that I thought I am going to come live and share with you what we talked about because I think it actually applies in so many areas in life. So the question is like, can I be successful as a numerologist? So keep numerologist in there or swap it out for any of the words that you're looking at. Can I be successful as an intuitive? Can I be successful as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? Can I be successful with whatever it is in my life? And I'm going to use numerology as the example with this, but you can absolutely apply this process to anything that you would like to become successful with. Okay. So can I be successful as a numerologist? Well, the first thing I want to ask you is like, what does it mean to be successful as a numerologist? And defining that success, first of all, so that you actually know what am I trying to create and what am I trying to experience? So usually when people come into my world to be successful as a numerologist, they want one of two things, or maybe both of these two things. Number one, they want to feel successful as an intuitive. And what that means is they want to have a stronger, richer, more dynamic relationship with their intuition, with their inner guidance system. They want to feel those intuitive hits more clearly. They want to understand how to interpret them, what they mean, and how to take action on them. And most of us have this general understanding that the stronger my intuition is, the stronger my inner guidance system is, the quality of my life will improve. And that, is a personal relationship 100%. But in my experience, it's absolutely true. The more in touch and deeply connected I am with my inner guidance system, the more my quality of life improves, because the more I understand how to navigate in alignment with my code, with my truth, with what I'm meant to express, and being able to feel like I'm actually meaningfully contributing in alignment with my purpose. And that sense of mattering, that sense of meaning, that sense of powerful connection and powerful contribution gives fulfillment, right? So success as an intuitive, defining that for yourself of like, I want to hear my inner guidance system, know how to understand and interpret it, and know how to take action based on that, whether it's personally for myself, or maybe I want to use that with clients, right? Maybe I want to help use my intuition to help guide clients. So again, learning how to hear it and take action on it in a much more clearer way for you. So that would be a way of sort of defining success as an intuitive, would be like turning up the volume on your intuition, opening yourself to receive those intuitive hits and those downloads and that guidance, opening it up so that when you ask questions, the answers will come to you. And that's absolutely something that you can achieve and experience through the practical numerology certification. So there's lots of ways to grow your intuition. My favorite happens to be numerology because it's very grounded and applicable, but it leaves space for your intuitive flow. The second thing that people ask me is success as a numerologist. They come here because they're like, I want to use this to support me in business. I want to be a better businesswoman. I want to be able to use this to generate leads, to build a client base, to provide high quality content, to provide better healing products or coaching products and services, to like improve the quality of my services, as well as having a more sustainable business model using the 3-step process that I teach. So again, define what that means for you. Like, what does business success mean to you? Does it mean a certain level of income? Does it mean a certain client base? Does it mean I want X number of, clients per week or per month? I want to, grow my community by a certain percentage. Like, define what that success means to you. Okay. So that's step one, figuring out like, what does it mean to be successful? What does that mean to me? And get clear on what it is. Because if you keep it like, if the question is like, is it going to work for me? That's pretty vague, right? Like, what is your end goal? What is your end target? Like, have a sense as to what that target is that you're working towards. Oh, I love this, Catherine. Thank you so much for sharing. Catherine saying, it's so true. The more I trust myself and I'm aligned with my intuitive knowing, things fall into place at a higher level, right? This is one of the reasons that I love this work so much, because it will support you very personally as well as very professionally as well. So that's the first thing, defining success. The second piece to this, will it work for me, is simply, and really not so simply, a decision. Honestly, the decision of like deciding, like, this is going to work for me. This is going to work for me. I am going to work with this. It is an active choice, and it is a decision that requires you to truly decide with every cell of your being. And, not to say that we're going to be perfect at this, and there's not going to be moments where there's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But the more time you spend with 1 foot in and 1 foot out, the more you prolong the outcome you desire. The way to get the outcome you desire is to make the decision with both feet and with your whole being as consistently as possible. And yes, you might have a day here and there where you're in and out, or you're not sure, or you're questioning. I mean, that's human, right? But the question is, when that happens, do you bring yourself back to your decision point eventually and say, I'm here. I've made the decision to follow this path through and see where it's going to lead me. I'm here because I made the decision. And I really see that this decision point is where a lot of people trip up, because they passively make decisions rather than like actively making a decision. And to me, a passive decision is going, well, I'm just going to sit back and like let the universe tell me what I should do. It doesn't work that way. The universe is looking for your co-creation. The universe will back you when you've made a decision, but the universe is giving you complete free will. The universe isn't going to push a decision on you. The universe is holding space for your choice and your conscious creation, your conscious co-creation. And it's a co-creation because you're not here alone. You're not making this decision by yourself. You're making this decision in a community of people who will love you, support you, honor you, and back you. But without your decision, there's nothing, right? The universe will also back you and co-create with you once you've made the decision. And Catherine, I love your analogy with the decision to get sober. And that was that. Like, it's a decision, right? And I'm not minimizing the difficulty of making a decision. A decision is everything when you put a lot of like mindfulness into it. But once the decision is made, the decision is made, right? And this is where I see people tripping up, is they're like, well, I'm not sure. I'm just going to kind of see what happens. And that energy is 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that will hold you back from the outcome of success in whatever way you've defined it, right? You decide what success means to you, but then your decision is what's going to be the next step to create it. Okay. So the first thing is define your success. The second thing is make a decision with your whole being. Yes or no, it doesn't matter. You feel into it and choose what's right for you. And then the third thing is invest. Okay. Now, when I say invest, I want to be very clear that there's 3 ways you can invest. Okay. You can invest with your money, you can invest with your time, and you can invest with your energy. Those 3 things are a way of investing in your decision. And when you invest in your decision, I want you to hear the terms I'm using very deliberately. You will appreciate the outcome. You will appreciate the success as you've defined it, which means appreciation is to grow, right? Like if you appreciate your asset, you're growing your asset. So if you invest in your decision, you are going to appreciate and grow and expand the outcome, the inevitability-ness of the decision you've made. Now, I always tell people, in my trainings, the decision and the process is up to you. The timing is a co-creation, but you get to choose. Did I decide? Am I on board? Am I fully in? Am I all in with both feet? Or not? No judgment either way, like totally your choice, but decide what it is and take responsibility for it. And then decide on your process. Decide on your process. And for the people who are like successful in numerology as defined on their terms, what that looks like is actually showing up to the trainings. Whether you listen live or on the replay, Imagine that. To be successful at it, you have to listen and do the homework. The people who actually show up on the calls, whether live or replay, and do the exercises that I've like very carefully cultivated and created, they get results in very short periods of time, because I have been doing this for many years at this point, teaching people how to activate their intuition, develop and strengthen their intuition based on using the language of numbers to help them interpret energy. And so I know very clearly what works and what doesn't work. And so I have designed the exercises and the homework in such a way that you are opening the door to an intuitive knowing within you. I'm going to give you the doorway, but it's up to you to choose to open it and take the steps. And opening it and taking the steps is literally doing the practices that I give you, attending the trainings that I give you, and doing your buddy work, right? Doing your buddy work. I set everybody up with a buddy to do numerology reading swaps with. And this is everything, because it is a practice. So in order for something to be an effective practice, you have to practice it. You have to do it multiple times. You have to play with it and experiment with it. You have to feel the energy and express the meaning. It is a two-way street. It is a feeling and an expression. And that's how this muscle grows. And it's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable. I would say that there has not been a single person who has not shown up, done the trainings, and practiced with their buddy that hasn't left the training being like, I know how to interpret numbers. My intuition is on fire. I know how to use this to support a client's growth or healing or transformational change, however they want to apply it in their work, whether they already have a client base or not, right? They know how to use this tool to support healing and growth in their clients. So will it work for me? Yes, the pathway is there. And it's a co-creation between us and the universe. You get to choose to decide, I'm going to take this step. I'm going to make this decision. It feels right to me, feels aligned to me. Only you'll know if it feels right and aligned to you. But if the answer is yes, and if you're in with both feet, if you walk the steps that I've laid out, because I've done this so many times, it is an inevitability for you. You will have those outcomes that you desire. You will have that stronger intuition, and you will have that basis for how to apply this into your business. So I just really wanted to share that, because I know a lot of people feel like, do you have to be special for this to work? Or like, it's out of reach. It's for those people, but maybe not for me. And I really want you to say, I really want to feel and connect with you on this, because I used to think that. You had to be like special to be an intuitive. I used to think I had no intuition, because I wasn't working it, and I didn't have a modality to develop it. I know what it feels like to be on the other side and being like, I wish I had this. It feels like people who have these intuitive gifts have like a secret lifeline that I don't have. And it's true, they do. People who have intuitive gifts do have a secret lifeline. And the fact that you want it and you desire it and you're seeking it out, the fact that it has your curiosity piqued, tells me that it's available to you as well. And the only thing that separates from you having it and not having it is the decision. It's literally the decision. And then the follow through. And the follow through being the steps that I lay out for you. So I know the people who worked with me in the past will say, I don't leave people behind. If you are like, oh my God, I messed up, I missed it, I don't know what to do, I'm stuck, like, you can DM me, you can message me, you can ask me on one of our Thursday calls. I'm falling behind, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. And I will help you reorient and find your grounding and help you follow the steps of where you need to walk to grow that, right? It is so helpful to Catherine, you are just on it today. Invest in your decision to experience the inevitability of your outcome, 100%. And then, the thing that I think is the most powerful about this is if you place yourself in containers where you are supported to follow through with it, there is one side effect that is worth its weight in gold with that. And this is that when I make a decision, to do something and I actually follow through and do it, I create a level of self-trust and self-respect that is off the charts. And that is huge as a secret for your own personal growth. If you have self-respect and self-trust because your word to yourself is honored, like you are unstoppable. Like you are unstoppable, right? There is going to be challenge. Like it's not, if it was such a freaking easy path, like everybody in the world would already do and have it. There is going to be challenge. You will be pushed outside of your comfort zone when you make these big decisions. You can talk to anybody who's ever felt that like rock bottom moment or back up against the wall moment where they had to make a hard ass decision that wasn't freaking easy, right? But when you reach that point and you stay with yourself in it and you continue to walk yourself through it, the level of trust and respect that you develop with yourself is gold for your intuitive practice, your relationship with source, your inner guidance system. Absolutely, right? Because the more you trust yourself, the more you can hear. The more you trust yourself, the more you can feel and sense your intuitive languages coming through. But then second, in terms of what you do with that, now that you have this intuitive gift, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be willing to share it? Are you going to be willing to share your gift with other people? Gifts are meant to be shared. You have this gift for a reason. You're going to be feeling all kinds of like intuitive knowings and downloads and hits about, I can help this person. I can do this project. I can work in this collaboration. And will you have the trust in yourself to follow through with that message? Will you have the trust in yourself to like speak your truth when you might be facing an uphill battle, or when it might not want to be heard, or when you might feel like there's forces against you, right? Or when it's not easy? Because I'll definitely not be the first, like I'll tell you, I'll be the first to tell you this entrepreneurial path is not all sunshines and rainbows. Like there's challenges. I have never been challenged to the deepest extent as I have when you put yourself out there and you're willing to share your work and your heart in risky, vulnerable ways where people will judge you, doubt you, and question you. And at the end of the day, when you have that noise in the outside world, it's like, how do I come back to myself? And like, I don't need the outside people to tell me that I'm right or wrong. I can actually go within because I trust myself and I can find my own answers in my guidance system because I've proven to myself that I have my own back. I'm not going to abandon myself, and I'm actually going to stay true to my word and hold myself and walk through it. So when I teach this kind of work in my containers, I teach the intuitive guidance. I teach how to develop that. I teach the business pieces that you will want in order to go out there and like make money doing this. But I do it from a very attachment theory place, aware of your nervous system. Because if you're doing this from a place of high stress or highly dysregulated, like a highly dysregulated experience, you will burn yourself out. And I know because I've experienced adrenal fatigue. It's not fun being burnt out, but it doesn't have to be that way. And the relationship that you develop with yourself because of your relationship with your intuition and walking yourself through those decisions you make, whether it's, in relation to numerology or anything, the relationship you have with the decision and the follow through is going to determine how well you know that you can walk yourself through the challenges. Okay, I love this. I love that we've got some people here. So 100% vouching for this. I'm hoping this is in relation to, I will walk you through it. Like if you like, oh my God, Megan, this is not working. Like, okay, let's sit together and figure this out, right? Several things were crunchy for me. Absolutely. And I would really hazard a guess in saying that anything worth achieving and experiencing and overcoming is going to have crunchy bits. And as I taught in Magnetic Soul Codes, the challenge is not the problem. The crunchy bits are not the problem. It is my relationship with the challenge that's to be considered. Am I willing to hold myself and walk myself through challenge? Or when I feel challenged, do I freak out, collapse, back down, disassociate, and give up? Right? That is the question at the end of the day. The challenge is not the problem. It's my relationship to the challenge. I love this. I always feel supported and appreciated, Megan, taking the extra time to help it land. Absolutely. That is totally what I'm here for. And the nervous system regulation being so important, which is why I'm so big on community. This is why one of my top values is collaborative wealth, because we thrive in community. And to me, wealth equals well-being, financial well-being, emotional well-being, mental well-being, spiritual well-being, all of it. That's wealth. And collaborative wealth to me tells me that we thrive in community. We thrive in connection with other people. When other people are uplifted, when other people are supported to be better off, we are all better off because of it. And that is a core guiding principle in like life and work for me, because it's just so freaking true. So comment and let me know if you're catching me live or on the replay. I want to know, does this help you wrap your mind around, like, how do I make these decisions to find out if something is going to work for me? Right? That was kind of the goal of this message today was, is numerology going to work for me? This is what people are wondering. Or, any decision you're facing, is that thing going to work for me? And I walked you through 3 steps, because number 1 is defining, like, what does it mean to be successful in that thing? Let me define success. Am I looking to grow intuition? Am I looking to bring in a business tool? What's my goal here? Let me define success and not keep it vague. Vagueness is not going to help you. So that was step 1. Step 2 is to ask yourself, what is my decision? Am I deciding with both feet? 1 foot, half a foot? What is my energetic decision here? Am I like 100% all in? Or am I like dancing around the corners 50-50? And if you're dancing around the corners 50-50, like, that's fine. That's totally fine. Like, no judgment, nothing wrong with that. But recognize that your results will reflect that. And that's a choice you're making. And that's okay. Like, that's a personal responsibility choice. You can say that. I'm not all in right now. And that's totally fine. I'm only going to just kind of be half in. And that's okay. Your outcomes will reflect that. And that's also okay. Like, that's a choice you're making. So number 1, decide what success is. Number 2, make a decision. And then number 3, invest in your decision. Whatever your decision you've made, invest in it with your time, with your energy, and with your money. Put your resources behind it, because when you do invest in your decision, invest in the outcomes you desire, you appreciate your results, which means you grow and expand your results. That's how this works. Investment creates appreciation. Okay, so you'll expand it. So those are the 3 steps. Comment below, what was the number 1 takeaway you got from this? What's the one thing that's going to help you feel more confident to make decisions for yourself? And also, if you can, share this out or tag a friend who needs to hear about these 3 steps. Anyone you know who's experiencing challenge and decisions right now, whether it's decision fatigue, having a lot going on, knowing these 3 steps can break it down and make it simple. So number 1, comment, let me know what's your takeaway. And number 2, share this with a friend who can benefit from this decision process. And thank you so much for being here with me today. We'll talk to you soon. Oh, should I also say that Practical Numerology, the doors are open right now, which is my numerology certification training program. And if you want support in this is what I teach in numerology. I teach you how to learn to develop your intuition, and I follow that up with bonuses to help you make money using your gifts. So if you're curious to learn more, the doors are open for a couple of more days, and we actually start on Tuesday. So if you're interested, send me a note, DM me, comment below that you want to connect, and I'd be happy to chat with you to find out if it's a fit for you or not. I am open. So what I want for you and for this group that's being co-created right now is I want the people who say yes to be like, hell yes, I'm in. Because I know what happens when we surround ourselves with people who are mindful and intentional decision makers. It is powerful momentum. So I want you to make the best decision for yourself. And if you need support to get there, I'm totally here for you. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day.